Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Did you watch any motorsport this weekend? So I have actually managed to upload this as soon as the NASCAR race ended, which makes a change from 3 days after the last race of the weekend ended. But there really wasn't much on this weekend, no Formula 1, but we do have the final World Rallycross race of the year, V8 Supercars from Down Under, and the series we all love so much, and the one I'm going to start with, NASCAR from Phoenix. The penultimate round of the NASCAR Championship, thank God. I have to say this was the most boring motor race I think I have ever seen. For 300 laps, nothing happened, not a single thing. There's nothing really to talk about. Stenhouse Jr. hit the wall with 9 laps to go in stage 1. That triggered a mad dash to the pits, and Denny Hamlin won the first stage. Logano won stage 2, which he needed to do, but Kyle Busch got past him in the final stage, and that put him ahead of Logano in the playoff chase by a point. There was another caution with 9 laps to go and everyone jumped back into the pits, but Hamlin won and got to the playoffs with Harvick, Truex and Busch, whilst Logano, Blaney, Larson and Elliott are out of it. One more race to go and then we're done with NASCAR for like 2 months. Moving from America to Australia, we have the Sandown 500 in the V8 Supercars Championship, the last of the Enduro Cup races. We started with 2 shorter races, the first of which had the co-drivers racing the cars for 20 laps on the wet Melbourne-based track. Lowndes led from Tander, Prematt struggled, slowly dropping down the field before Forward spun in front of him, delaying Prematt further. Moffat and Randall would then crash into each other, also in front of Prematt. Although they did not delay him as badly as Forward did, Prematt must have been carrying a lucky rabbit foot for all the crashes happening in front of him. Moffat would crash again with broken steering, ending his race in the wall. The main thing of note in this race was the inexperienced Will Brown, challenging and eventually overtaking the very experienced Garth Tander. Will Brown is the TCR Australia champion, or will be very soon, and he was looking to make his mark on the V8 Supercars as a potential driver for next year. Jack Smith spun off the track towards the end of the race, which was won by Craig Lowndes from Will Brown and Garth Tander. The second race started with Shane Van Gisbergen slamming into De Pasquale, spinning them both at the first corner, and Shane would have to retire from the race. And for some reason De Pasquale was given a drive-through penalty even after Shane admitted it was his fault. The driver steward could only have been a useless race driver himself and a complete muppet. Craig Baird. Oh, okay, I was right. Not much else happened in this race. There were some cars on slicks and some cars on wets and a certain gap between them. And it was interesting watching Anton De Pasquale fighting his way back through the field, but in the end it was another win for Whincup from Heimgartner and Reynolds. The final race was the longer 161 laps race. Not too much happened. D'Alberto spun on lap 6. It has not been a good weekend for him. Dale Wood and Luke Young had a big crash on lap 32, both hitting the wall. They would do some major damage and leave pieces on the track. It would be much later in the race when something would break on Van Gisbergen's car, a piece of suspension or a damper or something on the back, causing smoke. And in the end, Whincup would complete the hat-trick for the Triple Eight car, winning all 3 races this weekend between him and Lowndes. But McLaughlin is already champion and only the team's title is up for grabs at the final round. Finally, we have the final World Rallycross Championship round from South Africa, with Timmy Hansen and Andreas Bakkerud separated by only a point, with Kevin Hansen in with a chance of victory too. The racing in World Rallycross has been exciting this year, but the stature of the championship has been affected by Volkswagen leaving, with Solberg, Christopherson, Loeb and Ekstrom all leaving the series. The base is there for a good future, and they have some very talented drivers to show off. Niklas Gronholm was on it this weekend, and he would win the qualifying overall. He could have been a contender if he didn't miss 2 rounds with appendicitis. Bakkerud struggled in Q2, dropping him further behind Timmy Hansen. Kaliakowski of Finland nearly rolled it in Q3, but the qualifying and semi-finals were timid affairs. Bakkerud won his semi-final from Gronholm and Timizyanov, and the Hansen brothers comfortably won theirs from Scheider. The fireworks finally happened in the final when Timmy Hansen got into the side of Bakkerud, spinning the Audi into the wall, which then bounced back and hit both Hansen brothers, sending them in different directions. Bakkerud continued in second behind Gronholm, but Timmy Hansen was in 4th, and that's how it finished, which meant both Timmy Hansen and Andreas Backer had finished the season on equal points, and Timmy was declared champion because he has won 4 rounds opposed to Backward's 1. And that is how the year ended. Exciting stuff. If you've stopped watching Rallycross when the big names left, start watching again, because it's always fun and they live stream everything on YouTube for free. So you should definitely subscribe to their channel ready for next year. And that's it for this week. Next week we have the return of Formula 1 in Brazil, along with the last World Rally Championship round, I think in Australia, and also Australian S5000 and NASCAR rounds, with the Macau round of the World Touring Car Cup. Annoyingly not the last round of the year, because Malaysia's in December. So plenty to watch as we head to the end of the year and all the series begin to wrap up. With that said, have a good week, subscribe and comment and like to keep updated. I am releasing new content all week, there'll be some interesting stuff coming up. So that's all, have a good one.